Number 10. Arbitrage. Robert Miller is a successful financial businessman with a loving wife and a smart daughter ready to take over the family business. Professional secrets involving illegal, fraudulent activities start coming out at the same time that Robert's personal secrets take a turn for the worse and threaten to derail everything he has achieved. Number 9. The Hoax. Early in 1971, the McGraw-Hill Publishing Company passes on Clifford Irving's new novel. He's desperate for money, so, against the backdrop of Nixon's re-election calculations, Irving claims he has Howard Hughes' cooperation to write Hughes's autobiography. With the help of friend Richard Susskind, Irving does research, looks into a manuscript written by a longtime Hughes associate, and plays on corporate greed. He's quick thinking and outrageously bold. Plus, he banks on Hughes' reluctance to enter the public eye. At the same time, he's trying to rebuild his marriage and deflect the allure of his one-time mistress, Nina Van Pallant. Can he write a good book, take the money, and pull off the hoax? Number 8. Unfaithful. Connie Sumner has a loving husband, a beautiful home, and a wonderful son, but she wants more. When she's approached one day by a handsome stranger while trying to hail a taxi, she becomes obsessed with him and eventually starts an affair, but her selfish actions soon catch up with her. Number 7. The Hunting Party. A young journalist, a seasoned cameraman, and a discredited war correspondent embark on an unauthorized mission to find the no-one-war criminal in Bosnia. They find themselves in serious jeopardy when they are mistaken as a CIA hit squad, and their target decides to come after them. Number 6. An Officer and a Gentleman. Zach Mayo is a young man who has signed up for Navy Aviation Officer Candidate School. He is a Navy brat who has a bad attitude problem. Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley is there to train and evaluate him, and will clearly find Zach wanting. Zach meets Paula, a girl who has little beyond family, and must decide what it is he wants to do with his life. Number 5. Pretty Woman. Replete with extreme wealth and suave good looks, Edward Lewis could seemingly have any woman he wants, a committed significant other needed on his arm at social events to further how he makes his money as a corporate raider. But since he focuses more on his corporate raiding pursuits with his lawyer of 10 years and partner in crime, Philip Stuckey, than any woman, every significant other he's had in his life has felt neglected and eventually left him. The fact of which he is just realizing. In Beverly Hills, still in need of a woman on his arm, as he and Philip work toward taking over a company owned by the increasingly insolvent James Morse, he decides, from a chance encounter, to hire Hollywood Boulevard hooker Vivian Ward as his escort for the week. It makes sense, a professional who would be committed to the work without having any relationship issues. After the week is done, beyond their chance encounter, he also makes this decision because she surprises him about how unhookerish she is in certain respects. Vivian, relatively new to Los Angeles and the business, must still look and act the part, with Edward, beyond giving her money, leaving her largely to her own devices to do so. She finds a somewhat unlikely Henry Higgins in Barney Thompson, manager of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel where Edward is staying. Barney draws that fine line of keeping the hotel's upscale clients happy while maintaining the posh decorum of the upper class, which does not include people to the hotel looking for rooms with hourly rates. As Barney and his associates are able to transform Vivian into a Cinderella, the questions become whether Vivian can go back to her Hollywood Boulevard life and whether she does have her Prince Charming beyond this week in the form of Edward, who truly does see her as Cinderella as opposed to a Hollywood Boulevard streetwalker. Number 4. Chicago. Murderesses Velma Kelly and Roxy Hart find themselves on death row together and fight for the fame that will keep them from the gallows in 1920s Chicago. Number 3. Primal Fear. When a young man, Aaron, is charged with the horrific murder of Archbishop Rushman, hotshot Chicago lawyer Martin Vale takes on his defense at no charge. Aaron was a homeless street kid before he was taken in by the Archbishop. He's shy and speaks with a stammer. Vale is convinced that Aaron is innocent, but after discovering a video that shows Aaron may have had good reason to want the Archbishop dead, he begins to question that conclusion. When Aaron lashes out at the psychologist examining him, another personality, Roy, is revealed. With the trial already underway, Vale cannot change Aaron plea and so has to find a way to introduce his client's condition. Aaron has something of a surprise for him as well. Number 2, Days of Heaven. Bill and Abby, a young couple who to the outside world pretend to be brother and sister, are living and working in Chicago at the beginning of the century. They want to escape the poverty and hard labor of the city and travel south. Together with the girl Linda, they find employment on a farm in the Texas Panhandle. When the harvest is over, the young, rich and handsome farmer invites them to stay because he has fallen in love with Abby. When Bill and Abby discover that the farmer is seriously ill and has only got a year left to live, they decide that Abby will accept his wedding proposal in order to make some benefit out of the situation. When the expected death fails to come, jealousy and impatience are slowly setting in, and accidents become eventually inevitable. Number 1, Hachi, A Hog's Tale. Commuting by train, music professor Parker Wilson finds an Akita puppy, whose cage broke unnoticed during shipping, leaving his destination unknown, and since the station can't care for it and the dog catcher warns even such cute ones may not be adopted in the 2 weeks allowed, he kindly takes it home. His bossy, jealous wife Kate initially makes Parker swear it won't stay, but by the time it's clear nobody will claim him and an adoption candidate is found, she agrees to keep the dog, who won over their daughter Andy and her fiancé Michael at first sight. Parker's Japanese college friend, Ken, inspires naming the pup Hachi Ko, and is pleasantly surprised when Parker successfully tackles the challenge to get it to fetch, which Akitas don't usually do. Hachi makes a habit of waiting for his equally doting master at the station every evening. But after a cardiac crisis, Parker dies. Hachi refuses to accept this, being moved to Michael's home as Kate moves out, waiting for a master who can never come home again. By now collectively adopted by sympathizing town folk, the story is told in flashbacks as Class Assignment My Hero by Michael's teen son Robbie, who also gets an Akita puppy.